Hey guys, I just wanted to do another vlog for a change of pace. Mostly because some people have been asking me, and also because a lot of people have been generally, well, not a lot, that's kind of stroking my own ego. A couple of people have said that they miss my presence on YouTube, which actually basically blows my mind, but whatever. I'm kind of congested today, so sorry if my voice is even more crackly than usual. So, since I don't have a camera, you're just gonna see some footage of me playing, I think, Orcs Must Die in the background. I'm not playing it live because it's not a Let's Play. It's just to give you something to look at since I don't have, like, a camera. I'd like to address a couple of things in this vlog. First off, the future of my YouTube channel and why things have been as dead as they have been. And secondly, something to do with the Mass Effect ending, but more about everything, the entire circus around it, and some observations I've made about the press and how they're being kind of irresponsible. I'll start off by talking about, the channel. I stopped doing my Ultima 6 Let's Play because I was having horrible congestion issues, and those took forever to resolve, and it made it really painful and hard to actually do videos. And by the time that they resolved, I started studying Japanese. And, well, let me put it this way. Whoever thought of the stereotype that students don't actually spend any time studying and they just booze and partying, all that, obviously they haven't met the average Japanese student. I've been basically busy all the time with my studies and, cramming these words into your head. Not even the grammar. I mean, Japanese grammar is, sorry that this is going into an exposition about Japanese now, but even though I said it was about the future of the channel, but Japanese grammar is not that difficult. It's a lot tidier, in fact, than most Western languages, I would argue. The problem is, of course, that you can't derive any words in Japanese from your own knowledge like you could when you're learning another language. So any word that you learn, you have to just cram it in there. And this is further complicated by kanji, which, if you don't know, can't imagine anyone wouldn't, but in case you don't, they're these little drawings, basically. And they make up words together. And you have to cram those into your head too. So if you have a word made up of two kanji, you need to memorize those two pictograms and the order that you draw the strokes in to make them, since that's, oh god damn coffee machine. Yeah, my coffee machine is very loud. It did this during the Mass Effect 3 ending too, and I just cut it out. I'm gonna leave it in for comedic effect this time. So you need to learn these two pictograms. You need to learn what a reading is, which is basically how you pronounce it or read it, or, well, duh. And then you need to, of course, learn what the meaning is in English or Dutch or what have you, so you know what the word actually means. That's a lot of memorizing, and the problem with Japanese is also that you lose stuff along the way that you learned before. So I'm never done studying because there's always something that I've already forgotten and more that I could repeat and more fluency to be attained. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I'm basically never done studying. Most of my free time when I haven't been studying has been going into unwinding and relaxing and maybe playing a game here or there. But I haven't even had a whole lot of time to actually play any games that I want. I mean, I finished Mass Effect 3, and that's actually the most time I've taken to myself to play a game all the way through. I've played a bunch of Skyrim, but I haven't finished it, not nearly finished it. Actually, I never finished the main quest for Morrowind either. I'm just terrible at finishing RPGs apparently. So yeah, that's why basically there's been no videos, because I've been so busy with Japanese. What that means for the channel is that as much as some of you like me, I might at some point finish the Ultima Let's Play, but I'm not going to do anymore, I don't think. I do want to start getting a little more active, making short videos like opinion pieces, reviews, shorter things like the Mass Effect 3 video. That's stuff that I would like to do. A video that I can make, that I can render, upload, and be done with it. Maybe in 2 parts, but mostly the Mass Effect 3 ending was actually in 2 parts because my ISP is horrible and I couldn't get it uploaded in a single piece. But yeah, that's kind of the thing that I want to do, but I'm not sure what it is that you guys would like to see of me. I mean, I can just make these videos for myself, but it's kind of disheartening when I know I have 140 subscribers and my video only gets 10 views. That's not what I want to do. If you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to see, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about or do an opinion piece about, or maybe even a review of the game. I mean, I'd have to have the game to review it, but yeah, that's stuff I can do, but you guys need to let me know which way you want to see me going into, because right now I want to get back into making videos. Not quite sure what to do, not quite sure how, not quite sure where to go. I'll probably start doing something on my own if you guys don't give me any suggestions, but I'd really rather prefer if, this was a cooperative thing. Okay, second thing that I would like to talk about is Mass Effect 3 and the controversy around it. Now, I don't want to talk about the ending because I've already done that during the play-by-play. But what's interesting to me is the entire movement and the circus around it, like the retake Mass Effect 3, the retake Mass Effect movement. It's very interesting. It's very much a grassroots movement. It's very positive and in a way even inspiring, I think. But on the other hand, there's been the media coverage. And I say media while doing finger quotes. I know you can't see me, but just imagine me doing finger quotes. Because it's hard to take reporters, again with finger quotes, seriously when they're like, what's his face? Colin Moriarty? I know he's Moriarty, I'm not sure about his first name. He was from IGN, and he basically called the retake movement a bunch of over-entitled basement dwellers, fanboys, which is funny since I'm a girl, and there's plenty of other women in the movement. And he said some very, very horrible things. I'll link the video in question in the description below, in case you're morbidly curious about that train wreck. But this is IGN, which is supposedly respectable gaming journalism. I mean, what part of that is respectable? The retake movement wanted to channel their frustration into something positive, so they started the Child's Play charity drive, which means if you're pissed off at the ending of Mass Effect 3, you could go there and you could donate money to Child's Play. And it was a bit of catharsis and symbolism all in one. It's like, on the one hand, you're saying, well, I'm no longer supporting Bioware. All this money that I would have put into their products, I'm going to give to a worthier cause, sick children. Which I think is great. I mean, I did it myself, not to, toot my own horn, but yeah, I went there and I donated. And I felt better because you feel so frustrated and annoyed and irritated, and to turn that negativity into a positive act is something that's very cathartic. But that's stopped now, and part of the reason why there's a big spiel about it on Penny Arcade somewhere, because it's obviously Child's Play is a Penny Arcade charity, about how a lot of people, again finger quotes because I can't imagine it, a lot of people were pulling out their donations, which, by the way, even though I don't believe that it was actually a lot of people instead of like a couple, I think the people who donated to Child's Play and then wanted their money back are horrible. I mean, I shouldn't make that kind of judgment call, but that's just not done, dude. That's just not right. On the other hand, the media had a role to play in this, and the media, again, I'm using this very loosely, because actual media makes mistakes too, and they're not always responsible, and I have a few choice words to say about that too, but on the average, they're a lot more responsible than gaming media. And the problem is, gaming media is not held to the same standards as normal reporting. A game journalist is not usually expected to do rigorous fact-checking and source-checking and that sort of thing, because most of their stuff are just opinion pieces. However, some articles were claiming that the retake movement was gonna not donate all the money they'd raised unless Bioware was gonna change the ending, which is just a patent lie. I mean, and this is what gets me riled up, because it's completely irresponsible to misrepresent what people are doing like that. And I'll tell you exactly why it's so irresponsible. Because this contributed to that charity being shut down. Now, all the money that was going into the chip-in page goes directly into the Child's Play charity. The chip-in page only tracks how much money was donated over time, so there's no actual way that the people who organized the retake movement could pull that money back out or deny the Child's Play charity the money that was already donated. So saying that they were abusing the charity and saying the charity will not get this money unless Bioware changes the ending is horrible. And what happened? The retake movement wanted to raise at least $100,000. Let that number sink in for a minute. $100,000 for sick children in hospitals who need to have their mind taken off all the horrible things happening to them. And by the way, this is something that I take personally, because as a child, I had asthma. And not just like in a movie where you puff on the inhaler and, you know, the character's fine. No, I had asthma, and as a toddler, it nearly killed me. When I was young, I basically spent a couple of weeks in hospital due to asthma attacks. Several times a year, like 2, 3, 4 times a year. It was pretty horrible and traumatic, and by the time I was getting better, I could not wait to get out of that hospital, because it was so horrible for a child to be stuck in a hospital. And I wasn't even usually that sick. I mean, yeah, I almost died when, you know, it was still at the beginning, but after that I was medicated, so I was getting better. When I eventually got better medication when I was like 10, I think, I've never had an asthma attack ever again. At least not one that put me into the hospital. But I know what it's like to be stuck in a hospital and not have anything to do, and it's a horrible, horrible feeling. Okay, so in come the media, and they say stuff about the retake movement, completely misrepresenting them, because we're not using it as a pressure tool on Bioware. We're using it to show that we're, good people, not just angry basement-dwelling fans. And we want to turn our frustration into something good. The media comes in, misrepresents us, Child's Play gets complaints. They mentioned that as a separate reason, beyond people wanting apparently their money back, which again to me makes them the scum of the earth, but whatever. So on top of that, the media is misrepresenting things, and Child's Play is getting angry emails and pressure to make this stop. And they did. They contacted the organizer of the Child's Play charity for the retake movement, and he shut it down. Now, we wanted to raise at least $100,000. In the end, we raised $80,000. That's a difference of $20,000. That could have gone to sick children because we would have hit that goal easily. I mean, we were getting thousands of dollars a day. And I partly blame the media now. I just think that game journalism sites need to be kept to higher standards. I think that this needs to start happening now. I mean, that's not even going into the controversies of all the big gaming outlets basically gave Mass Effect 3 big shining grades and reviews and glowing reviews, even though everyone hates the ending. Let me put it this way. I know tons of gamers. I know 15 people who finished Mass Effect 3. Not a single one of them had it in them to defend the ending. They all hated it. So yeah, it's pretty unanimous that the ending sucks. But yeah, the gaming industry misrepresents stuff, does not fact check, does not do responsible journalism, and in the end contributed to Child's Play missing out on $20,000 for sick children. Does that seem wrong to any of you? Because it does seem a bit wrong to me. I know it wasn't the entire factor. It contributed, though. It contributed, and I think they should, quite frankly, be ashamed. I think they should be ashamed that they're lambasting the people who keep them in business, basically, because gamers are the ones that make gaming journalism possible. And they're being completely partial towards the developers and just writing all complaints off as rabid fanboying or fangirling, as the case may be, and just completely ignoring reality and harming things with their recklessness. And again, it gets worse because Forbes has been a bastion of good gaming journalism in this entire fiasco. They've done unbiased reports of the retake movement, of other gaming journalism sites, of what Bioware's saying, and they've basically been a breath of fresh air in a tepid morass of horrible faux journalism, basically. This morning I went onto the, Bioware social network, and I saw IGN reporters, again, finger quotes, basically airing their dirty laundry and asking for retractions from one of the Forbes guys, Paul Tassi, I think his name was. And seriously, he wrote an opinion piece where he analysed what he felt were some of the downfalls of gaming journalism as it stands, and why reviewers might be a bit biased towards giving games better grades than they really deserve. And I read the piece, it was a good piece, but apparently IGN took issue with it. But even if they take issue with it, is it really something that you need to fight out in public on Twitter? Is that really how you want to play this? Is that professional? No, not fact-checking and fighting out your fights in public on Twitter is not befitting of professional journalism. And the only conclusion I can make from all this is that gaming journalism is basically not grown up enough yet to be actually taken seriously as a real form of journalism. That's the only thing I can take away from this entire mess. And yeah, I know this is all only sideways related to the entire Mass Effect fiasco. I want to say a few things about Mass Effect as well. I said in my earlier video that I like the indoctrination theory, and I don't believe in the indoctrination theory. That's the difference. If anything, I want to believe, but I don't. I don't think that this was intentional, because Bioware would have long since been like, whoa, hold up there, there's stuff coming, settle down. They haven't done that. They've had to publicly apologize, and they're probably losing money. So, no, I don't think they intended the indoctrination theory. Also, Occam's razor, given two options, the more likely one is probably the correct one. So the more likely one is that all the stuff that's basically explained by it's not real is probably more easily explained by this was just lazy, sloppy, whatever. Just like I said in the video, that's not to say that I don't like the indoctrination theory. In fact, I love it, because at least when I think of the indoctrination theory, I can imagine myself replaying the Mass Effect game someday. I say someday because I have no faith whatsoever that Bioware is in fact gonna fix the ending. This comes down to what their co-founder, Dr. Ray, said. He basically used two words that jumped out at me in his statement. He never said they were gonna change the ending. He never said they were gonna fix the ending. He never said anything like that. In fact, on the Mass Effect Twitter, they repeatedly say and then delete later tweets saying, we're not changing the ending, we're just doing this and that. Two words he used were clarification and closure. Now, what this means is, what I think it means is clarification means that they're gonna explain stuff. They're gonna try and explain the Star Child, they're gonna try and explain the Reapers more, and closure just means that they're gonna give you more of a sense of what happens afterwards instead of leaving it so open. But in the end, all you're gonna be left with is the same colored explosions, except padded out more, and with explanations, because we're so stupid that we don't get this. And honestly, that's what I think they're gonna do, and if they do that, then I think it's gonna be game over for this franchise, and maybe even Bioware in general. I don't know. It wouldn't be the first formerly great studio that EA has completely ruined, run into the ground and destroyed. I mean, Origin used to be responsible for the Ultima games. It was Garriot's baby, and EA perverted it during the course of Ultima Online. I'm not sure if Origin as a studio even exists anymore now. They've actually appropriated the name Origin for their competitor to Steam, which I find actually, as an Ultima fan, kind of disgusting. But that's just a personal thing. But yeah, Bioware used to be great, and I'm afraid that EA is doing to Bioware what it's done to so many studios before and ruining it completely. A bit of a tangent there, but whatever. It's my vlog. I can say whatever I like. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah. Tor was another Bioware misstep, if you ask me. I cancelled my account. I barely played it. I was very excited, but it was okay. It wasn't stellar. It wasn't particularly offensive. It was pretty buggy and unbalanced though, and I'm not gonna give a clear review because I never got far into playing it. but I think that tour was also not as good as it could have been. Dragon Age 2 was also not as good as it could have been. I haven't played it, this is complete hearsay, but everyone I've spoken to who loved Dragon Age thought Dragon Age 2 was not what it should have been. I suppose we'll see what happens to Bioware in the coming few months with Dragon Age 3 looming on the horizon and seeing what this Mass Effect thing is gonna do for them. I'm pretty pessimistic, to be sure. Well, I think I've gone on for more than long enough. If you guys have questions or suggestions or stuff you'd like me to do, stuff you'd like me to talk about, please leave me a comment either on this video, send it to my inbox, or post it to my channel's wall. Anything. I'd love to know what you guys want to see me to do. Just please don't ask me to do a let's play of something unless it's something I can do in like 2 hours. Otherwise I'm not going to do it. And yeah, that's it from me. Hope you guys have a good week and see you next time. Bye bye.